What's up, everybody, and welcome to another game on the road for your Eagan Bulldogs. Today we are coming to you live from the Lexington Community Center. They've named it the Pit. I call it the Lex. Some people call it the Jimmy. We'll just roll with it. Today you get a special treat as the playoff race heats up in terms of seeding in the NBL. We've got this weekend and next weekend left in the regular season before the playoffs kick off. Today, your 9-4 Eagan Bulldogs, second place in the West, come off and will take on the Minnesota Broncos, a rematch from about a month ago. They are 6-7, looking to solidify and move themselves up in the playoff rankings. My name is Jason Reinders. I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. This right here, this is Jacob Weldy, and he's still not 7 feet tall, but you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest team in the room. Jake, how you doing?
You know, Jason, I'm just fine. Today, the Bulldogs are going to do one simple thing. Eat, sleep, win, repeat. That's going to be their model the next 3 games, all through the playoffs. We got to get that championship. We got to get this. This game's kind of anniversary for me in a way, because this was the first game I got to call with you. So this is going to be a fun game.
It should be an excellent battle. Crosstown rivals. A lot of these players know each other. This game we saw, I believe it was 145-135 down in Eagan. We saw a huge game from one Devin Hicks. He's not playing today. At least he's not on the Broncos roster. But in terms of the Bulldogs, we're still short. We are still short CJ. Bryce Williams is out. I'm hearing Deshaun Springs will be a later rival. But we have a new guy, Alvin Gunter. He has joined the team now. If you've been paying attention to the roster online, he just hasn't played. Sam Charles is out with an injury. I think that pretty much covered everybody that's out. This is going to be all hands on deck, Jake.
Oh, absolutely. It's always all hands on deck, Jason, but today it's going to mark defense. Whatever team plays the best defense is going to win this game today. If the Broncos hope to upset the Bulldogs, they're going to have to play extended defense because Sean Scott's been on an absolute tear as of late. But I'll tell you what, my Bulldog spotlight today, we're going to do it on Trey Scott. Trey Scott's defense is absolutely outstanding. Number 9 for your Eagan Bulldogs. He is absolutely the best wing defender that the Bulldogs have. You want to shut somebody down, you throw him out there. I bet to see him starting today.
I think he might be starting. You're probably right about that one. It'll be a good bet at least. I expect a very good game. Trey's going to have to step up. Everybody's going to have to step up. I expect to see a little bit more out of Antonio Berry as well. We know the Broncos like to play long and they like to play fast. They like to play a lot of high scoring. I know we like to set the bar about 110. Let's go with about 130 today.
I don't even think it's going to be that high, Jason. I'm saying 120 wins this game.
Either way, stay tuned. We are about 4.5 minutes left before we get underway here. I still haven't seen the refs, but I'm sure they're hiding somewhere. We will be right back with your Eagan Bulldogs taking on the Minnesota Broncos. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Reinders, Jake Weldy on the call here, coming to you live from the Jimmy, the Lexington Community Center, Oxford Community Center. It goes by about a dozen different names. Looks like the Broncos are ready to rock. I know the Bulldogs are ready to rock. We are just about set here. 2 games left in the regular season for both teams after this playoff seeding. Essentially on the line for, again, both teams, with Eagan having a chance to all but lock up the number 2 seed. Jake, what's your main key to today? I know you mentioned defense. Anything else?
Communication and teamwork, Jason. It's all going to be all about what team works the best together, really. Defense is key, but so is that communication. Well, here we go.
And we are off as Alex Johnson, AJ, will grab the first one. Quickly turned over, Akeem Cuby, and Trey Scott gets the first bucket of the game. A quick 2-0 lead set up here for Trey. Alejandro Richardson with the first 3 ball, and it's long for the Broncos, rebounded by Trey. Trey is gonna take it all the way, gives it to Cuby. He's gonna take a wide open 3. Got it, 3 ball! Akeem Cuby with the first 3 ball of the game. That's Haymore behind the back to AJ. AJ, that's turned over and it goes all the way in the backcourt. Is going to roll out of bounds. Quick inbound from Richardson to Alex Johnson. That's AJ. I'll just refer to him as AJ. 3-ball from Johnson. That's a 3-ball, and it's good. AJ Johnson with the first 3-ball and the first bucket for the Broncos. It is 5-3, just over a minute into the game. Terrell Clark into the lane, gets the shot up and the foul. He will go to the line for the first trip to the free throw line in today's game.
You know, that's called bully ball right there, Jason. You see how he went as soon as he realized he had a smaller defender? He went right to that post to back him on down. That's excellent form of bully ball. If you know Broncos are going to try to beat the Bulldogs today, bully ball is going to be a thing.
Terrell way short, barely got the front of the rim on the first free throw. The second free throw is up, and nothing but the bottom of the net for Terrell Clark. EJ Haymore races down the lane and loses it all by himself. Wasn't really touched. Quick inbound from AJ Wilson over to in through the Scott brothers. Turnaround by Sean, and it's good. Sean Scott, his first 2 points of the game. AJ Johnson into the lane, kicks it out to Haymore. Haymore thinks about it, thinks second. Haymore, this time from the top. Nothing but the bottom of the net for E.J. Haymore. That's a 3-ball. And it's 8-6 for the Bulldogs. Terrell Clark, crossover, gives it to A.J. Wilson. No, that's long. Rebounded by Ellis Caples. Given to A.J. Johnson. Haymore, another 3-ball. Little off balance, way long, rebounded by Terrell Clark. He's coming across the front. Behind the back, twice behind the back, and a charging foul.
EJ, when he's trailing, rip through. He's trailing you off the screen, rip through, get all the way. He snapped into you. Here, don't confuse.
Inbound from Caples to Haymore. Haymore to bring it across, guarded by Trey Scott. Doubled this time by AJ. All ball on that one. Sean saves it, gives it to Terrell, out to A.J. Wilson. A.J. Wilson into Sean Scott, turns, no.
Let's go.
Tipped away. A.J. Johnson goes up. Oh, what a block from Trey Scott. I'm sorry, Sean Scott. Big block on the dunk from Trey Scott.
Let's go. Let's go, boys. We like that. Let's go.
E.J. Haymore to Alejandro Richardson. Thinks about it, tipped away, turned over, and this one comes out to Sean. Sean to Terrell Clark, and his first field goal of the game. He's got 4. It's 10-6 with about 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Oh, God, you got to love this defense. Look at the active hands. Contest a shot.
Way short and a home run ball. That one's tipped away. Valentino Jackson to take it. Alejandro Richardson. Richardson thinks about it. Doesn't take it. Turned over. Terrell Clark brings it away. Fast pass into there, and Akeem QB. Oh, AJ went for the follow-up slam and no dice.
Tried to rip the rim off.
Good man. Let's go.
Alejandro Richardson into Valentino, and that one's stolen. Sean gives it to AJ. Big jam for AJ Wilson, his first 2 points of the game.
I don't know if you remember though, Jason, last game, AJ's first bunch of points came off with jams, and then he got heated.
Absolutely, and the first time out of the game for the Broncos has us at 12-6 with 8:26 to go in the first quarter. Jake, it's been a frantic pace right now. 18 points in 3.5 minutes. This is going crazy.
Absolutely, Jason, but this is defense. Like I said, if you see how they're doing it, they're getting in there, they're ripping the lanes, and they're getting out in transition. Phoenix Suns all over again.
It's the transition. It's the defense turning into transition offense, and they are converting when they get down low.
And also, if you think about it, the 6 points is 2 3-balls from the Broncos. That's all they have right now is 2 3-balls. They're not getting anything inside.
No, and of course, I think the big turning point, if there is such a thing as a turning point early in the first quarter, has got to be that block early, just a moment ago from Sean Scott down as A.J. Johnson went up for the jam, which, of course, now, as we just saw, was answered by our own A.J. Wilson.
But you also got to remember, Sean Scott said in his last interview of the last game that whatever this team needs, he's going to step up and do, even if it means stepping up even more than he has. That's what we can expect from Sean.
Broncos inbound from Haymore to Richardson, back to Haymore, now into Valentino. Jackson and a home run ball, another one for A.J. Bang, and another one. He didn't go quite as hard that time. 4 points for A.J. on 2 buckets, and guess what? They're both jams. That's out to the other A.J. That's A.J. Johnson, tipped away, and it is Broncos ball. It stays Broncos ball on that. Checking in is Armani Scott. He checks in for Valentino Jackson, first sub of the game.
Jarvis coming in.
And also you have Alvin Gunter and...
Nope, just Ernest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Just Ernest coming in.
It's like for AJ.
First 2, nope. Missed the bunny early. Alejandro Richardson gets the rebound and dumps it in. So Richardson gets his first 2 points. The game is 14-8. Terrell Clark, short 3.
Out of bounds. Bulldog ball.
That one fell short, and it looked like that might have actually gone off Armani Scott. Either way, a QB to inbound for the Bulldogs. All the way out to Sean. Deep 3. No, that's, whoa, hold on, okay. I said no, and then it started to look like it was going to bounce around and in. Either way, rebound to Richardson, to Haymore.
Come on,
Johnson.
stay low.
Johnson
Travel.
gets called for traveling, and it's another turnover. That's been a problem for the Broncos as we are 4.5 minutes in. 7.5 to go here in the first quarter. A bunch of turnovers already for the Broncos. Clark to bring it across for the Bulldogs. Gives it to QB. QB. Long 3 for Akeem QB. Yes, sir! Nothing but the bottom of the net for Akeem QB.
He's 2 from downtown.
2 for 2 from downtown. He's got 6. In quickly. Back out. E.J. Haymore looked at it. Decides to go in. That one looked like it was tipped away. Here comes QB. And no. Rebounded by Richardson. That one's tipped away. Clark gets the steal. Behind the back to QB, nearly mishandled. Little runner, no. Rebound by Clayton. Kicks it out to Scott. Scott decides to reset, backs off. Scott stops, pops from 3. Yes, sir! Sean Scott has got a 3-ball.
Johnson with the rebound.
Johnson with the rebound and a block from behind. They're going to call a foul.
One on Sean.
Hey, Newton.
Sean is, let's just say, it's safe to say that Sean is getting mad right now.
Well, the better he gets, the better he gets. He's like the Hulk. Hulk smash, Sean smash.
We have 11 turnovers.
A.J. Johnson to the line for the first time for the Broncos. It is 20-8. And we are not even halfway into this first quarter.
If things don't change real quick, Jason, this is going to be a runaway freight train that I don't know if the Broncos are ready for.
A couple of mass subs. It looks like 2 or 3 subs come in.
Antonio Berry came in. Jarvis came in.
So we have Alvin Gunter.
Scott set.
Alvin Gunter getting his first minutes of the season here. And he gets the second one, so AJ goes 1 for 2 from the line.
Hand up! I got your back, man.
Sean Scott, another deep 3, and that almost goes in, tipped by Barry, re-tipped by Barry, and Barry with his first 2 points of the game. A.J. Johnson all the way on the other side, tipped away, stolen away, almost stolen away, and it does go out of bounds this time. It is Broncos ball. Clark didn't appear happy with that out of bounds call, but better to chill out as AJ comes over. He will check out. Timeout. I'm thinking this might be a media timeout. So we got a second here, and I guess it's safe to say the Bulldogs are running away right now, 22-9, with 5:52 to go here in the first quarter.
Absolutely. You know, right now the story of the game is just the amount of field goals the Bulldogs are getting over the Broncos. They're playing great transition defense. They're getting out and break. I think if that continues, you're going to have to see the Broncos, to want to get back in this game, they're going to have to slow the pace up. They're going to have to not allow this Bulldogs team to get out there, Jason. What do you think?
The Broncos are running and gunning. That's really what the Broncos are trying to run and gun, and the Bulldogs are beating them at their own game. We've seen over the last month and a half that the Bulldogs can play any style of ball that they want to.
I mean, right now what you're seeing, and I love this movie, Coach Carter. I don't know how many people have seen it, but they're going to make the Broncos play Eagan Bulldog basketball. They're not going to play Bronco basketball.
Haymore checks back in and gets the inbound. That's to number 8, Short, and number 8 is Josh Gonigan. Barry up to Sean Scott, out to Barry, thinks about it, and it looks like his pivot foot might have moved just a little bit. That's a travel. Turnover, and it is Bronco basketball.
Unfortunate, but, you know, we're just going to see what comes out now.
Inbounds to Haymore. Haymore gets in.
Open three.
3-ball, and it's a missed 3-ball, again, rebounded by Sean Scott. Sean Scott calling out the play, gets it to Ernest. And a quick turn right there for Terrell Clark. Terrell Clark gets the bucket. He's got 5 early on. 5 minutes, coming down to 5 minutes to go. Haymore out to Gonigan. Richardson. That's to Scott. I'm sorry, that's Gonigan. That one's out to Freelix. Quick passing here by the Broncos got me a little mixed up, and no, tipped in. That tip in goes to Brandon Freelix, his first 2 points of the game. Clark brings it across the line. 24-11, 4.5 to go here in the first quarter. Clark spins, gets it stolen away, and it is. They're giving it back to the Bulldogs. So Sean coming out. Clark gets the inbounds on the run, gets the bucket, and he's got 7. Clark trying to quickly fill up the scoreboard. Gonigan.
Way too slow.
Gonigan crosses over Clayton, gets to the bucket. Gonigan gets the bucket. His first 2 points of the game. Sam Mitchell. Tipped away by Haymore. Given back to Haymore. Haymore to the bucket. Almost stolen away by Clark, and they're going to call a foul on that one.
Good job, EJ.
Looks like Sam McGee going to check into this game.
Looks like Steve McGee and maybe AJ Wilson checking back in. As Haymore goes to the line for the Broncos, gets the first one to go.
That was what, 8 points?
Nope, just Steve McGee.
Steve McGee in for Terrell Clark. As by my count, I believe Clark's got 2 already. 26-14, just over 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And he gets the second one, make that 15. And Haymore has 5. Gunter gets his first touch of the season. Gunter kicks it out to McGee. McGee up and under, can't get the bucket to go.
Take that shot, Troy. Take the shot.
Kicks it out. Back out to Gonigan at the top. That is Haymore. Into the lane. Blocked away by Ernest Clayton from behind on Montroy Scott. Montroy Scott, a name I haven't called yet this season in the games against the Broncos. He might be relatively new, but that was blocked away. Freelix tried to get up underneath, finally gets the shot up, no. Sam Mitchell to bring it across the line. Behind the back, kicks it to Clayton.
That's what he do. Let's go.
And it was behind Clayton. He couldn't reach it. Turnover, and it's back for the Broncos basketball.
You can see Coach Wright talking to Mitchell as he's coming back, telling him, you got to put that ball in front of them, not behind them.
Another check in here as Jamie Villalez checks in. He'll get it to Haymore. And we are back under play. 3:10 to go here in the first quarter, 26-15. Haymore all the way to the bucket.
Good job, boy. Good job, boy. He's ice cream all day.
And
He's
Haymore
ice cream all day. Let's go.
Haymore will go to the line.
We
That
good.
foul called on Mitchell.
We good. Yeah, anytime he's
We
on,
still got
ice
11
cream
games.
all
Let's
day,
go.
man. Let's go.
Haymore misses the first free throw.
Uh-oh, you can hear the coach talking stuff, and the other players, Mitchell looks over and says, okay, I wonder if that's going to fire him up, Jason.
Haymore misses the second free throw, 0 for 2 from the line. Here comes Gunter, all the way to the lane by himself. His first 2 points of the season for the Broncos. Up, baby. And we have an appearance from Elijah, who will be going to Italy here very soon. Felix loses the ball, and they're saying it's off his knee as he went up.
I don't know if you noticed that, but Ernest was looking like he wanted to throw his stuff out the back of the gym.
Inbounds to Mitchell, Gunter. Gunter again, all the way down underneath, and draws the foul. He will go to the line for 2. That foul going on Jamie Villalez.
I kind of wondered, though, right now, if Elijah wasn't overseas with the loss of C.J. Parker for the meantime, would Elijah be able to step in big time?
I would like to think so. Gunter makes his first free throw. Yeah, we've been hearing rumors the last couple weeks, Jake, that CJ might not be back, which that will definitely affect the Bulldogs as we make a run into the playoffs.
Well, I hate to say this, but it'll affect the Bulldogs, yes, but will it also make it to where, I want to, i.e. the Boston Celtics from last year where they lost Kyrie Irving, but yet they became a better team by sharing the ball.
Mitchell back up. Mitchell gets the bucket. Sam Mitchell with a little extra on it. Oh my, a big 3-ball there from Montroy Scott. 31-18, Mitchell for 3. Oh, that's money! That's money! Sam Mitchell getting into the face of Newt Williams after that big 3-ball.
Well, that's because Newt's calling him ice cream. He doesn't like it.
Felix guarded by McGee. McGee very good on defense. Kicks it. Travel.
Wheels on the bus.
Gunter to inbound. He gives it to Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell gonna go off now. Clayton. Clayton gets in the lane, spins, turns, kicks it out to Gunter. Gunter uses the pick, gets around, gets it into Mitchell, kicks it out. Mitchell for 3. Got it! Sam Mitchell!
I'm going to tell you this, Jason. It looks like Newt Williams has him fired up on a different level today.
37-18, doubled up. Villalez for 3, not even close. Rebound to Clayton. Here comes Mitchell again. Oh, behind the back. Loses it, picks it back up, gets it to Barry, loses it. And Sam Mitchell is telling Newt to sub him out. Clayton to take the inbound, gets it to Gunter. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. And not sure what happened there. I lost it in between some players.
It looked like a miscommunication from two players who haven't played together a lot this season.
Frelix backs down into the lane. Double team. Haymore to Oh, wow, that's hard contact down there.
No charge?
They ain't called a foul?
No charge?
There.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
What
going to
the
give
hell?
that one to Gonigan. I believe the bucket went to Gonigan on that one. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Gunter to Barry. 30 seconds to go. Barry stops, pops off the front of the rim. And they'll call that foul there, so it should be a side out here.
Oh, technical Antonio.
Tony
Hey, let's
and
get him
Tone
kicked out, man.
gets teched
Let's
up.
get him kicked out.
I'm going to assume that tech is probably for talking. Call it dissent, if you want to call it that. But either way, it's a tech foul. We got 37 to 22 with 37 to 20 in favor of the Bulldogs with 22 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
I mean, that's
Why don't
just,
you shoot?
we just gotta, they gotta calm down. Antonio cannot afford to get a second one.
Man,
Scott misses the free throw. He'll go for the second one.
well, no, that's fine. Brandon, we know he's a big guy. If he's at like 80-something with 90%, we want him to shoot.
Gonigan to take the inbounds. Nearly got the 5-second
That's a
call.
shot. Come on, Rondo, you should have pulled that.
Kicks it out to Freelix. Here's Villalez. That's Scott. Rebounded by, tipped away. Here comes Clayton. A little out of control.
Good thing.
7 seconds to go, and Clayton loses the handles again. That's something we've seen throughout the entire season from Ernest Clayton. Call it Butterfingers.
No, I think his feet just got faster in his hands. Maybe it could have been the defender too. Maybe there was a little bit of hack that we didn't see.
Long inbounds to Freelich. Kicks
That's
it to
a
Haymore.
shot.
Scott up and
Go
under.
up.
No, can't get it. At the buzzer, the shot is good if it goes, and it misses from Rondell Brumby on the 3 ball. We'll be right back after this break in between quarters. All right, we are back here in the second quarter. Long 3 ball early from A.J. Wilson, who's checked back in. That one's stolen away by Sean Scott. Trey Scott. This one's for 3. No.
Come on.
Gunter gets the rebound and drops it.
21-point lead early, Jason.
41 to 20 here as we've just started the second quarter. Haymore picks it up. Kavarion Williams with his first minutes. A.J. Wilson back to Gunter. Yes, sir. And Gunter has got 7. 43 to 20. Freelix
E.J. Rondell.
turned over. Here's Sean Scott, 3-on-0. A.J. Wilson, another slam for A.J. Wilson.
That makes 3.
43 to 20. Wilson 3 for 3, all 3 of them jams. Freelich gets into the bucket, blocked away by Sean.
Hey, we can't go
Kavarion
outside.
Williams. By the way, Kavarion Williams used to play in this gym with the Broncos just a couple of years ago.
Well, didn't he play TC Elite last year?
Probably. Seemingly everybody did. And that one's kicked away by Kavarion Williams. Couple of subs coming in is AJ Johnson and Valentino Jackson check in. Looks like Gonigan and Haymore come out. Alex Johnson.
You know what? If you make 2 turnovers, he makes 2 turnovers, you make 2.
Johnson.
That'll be 6.
Kicks it, no. Rebounded by Jackson, no, not even close. Kavarian picks up the loose ball. Williams to Trey Scott. Trey Scott for 3, no, short off the front of the rim. A.J. Johnson. 45-20, 10 minutes to go. A.J. Johnson misses it, rebounded to Gunter, and that's taken away by Scott. Scott kicks it to A.J. A.J., no, that's long, rebounded.
Armani, get the ball.
Armani can't quite wrangle that ball up, and it'll be out of bounds for the Bulldogs. Long pass up from Trey to Sean. Kicks it back to Kavarion. Kavarion Williams. Sean Scott. Trey on the cut, can't get the bucket up and under, rebounded by Montroy Scott. Scott takes the 3 ball. No, rattles in and out, rebounded by Sean. Kicks it. A.J. Wilson, big alley-oop. A.J. Wilson.
Oh, no. You hear them all. They're all coming at Newt today.
47-20 with just about 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Missed it from Armani. That was a 3 ball. And that one falls. That's to AJ. Kicks it up to Gunter. Gunter into the lane. Runner, no, off the side of the rim. Armani gets the rebound, and AJ's going to slow it down. AJ Johnson to bring it up for the Broncos.
You know, right now, what you're seeing, I heard Newt Williams say it on to my left. They're playing hard. We got to play hard. That's what it's coming down to right now.
3 ball from Armani Scott in the corner. And Sean can't quite corral that pass, and it's a turnover. 43-27 still.
Deshaun Springs checking in at number 12.
27. I'll get these numbers right. I'm being completely dyslexic. 47-23, 8:39 to go. And Deshaun Springs checks in the human highlight reel. How long before he jumps out of the gym?
The first chance he gets. And this is going to be exciting.
Valentino Jackson gets the shot up and draws the foul. I believe that one went on Sean.
That'd be his second.
I don't feel like people that play soft. I'm like soft.
Valentino to the line. That's Valentino Jackson for the Broncos. 8.5 to go here in the first half. It's 47-23, Bulldogs lead. Jackson misses it. The Broncos are not very good from the free throw line.
3 of 7 right now, Jason, where the Bulldogs are 2 of 4. So last game we saw the Broncos were hitting them everything from the line.
Jackson gets the second one. That's his first free throw, or his first point of the game, I should say. Kavarian Williams to bring it up. Cross, stops, pops, and it rattles out. Rebounded by Alejandro Richardson, gives it to Montroy Scott. Scott, A.J. Johnson thought about it, couldn't get the shot up on the tip, and Johnson gets the bucket anyway. Here's Deshaun Springs. AJ getting into the lane, can't get it. Deshaun Springs can't quite get to the follow-up. We know what he wanted, he just couldn't quite get the ball and get it down.
No help.
Montroy Scott to bring it up for the Broncos. AJ Johnson. Johnson kicks it out to Freelix. Freelix for 3. No. Rebounded by Sean Scott. 47-26, 7.5 to go here. Sean all the way in and gets the bucket. Sean Scott has got 7. Alejandro Richardson, A.J. Johnson. A.J. Johnson.
Hey, get the ball up. Let's go.
Kicks it over. That goes down into Richardson. Back
AJ's
out
open in the corner.
to Jackson. Timeout Bulldogs. You're absolutely right. They had Alex Johnson way out in the far corner, but the combination of Freelix and Jackson just couldn't quite get it to him, and they caused the turnover. It is a timeout.
I just got a question, though. Just on his shoes. Have you looked at Ernest Clayton's shoes and thought of Wonder Woman yet?
Now that you mention it, a little bit.
So do we have to nickname him now?
I don't know about a
Mr.
nickname.
DC?
We've got a couple of custom kicks, I'll call them, out on the court for the Bulldogs. I'm looking one or two sets over here for the Broncos beside us.
And you see Coach Adam of the Broncos out there talking to the refs. You know, sometimes that would be considered a penalty when you have a player who's not even dressed for the game out on the court.
It sounds like Adam Wright, again, a Broncos player, was out there telling a ref what to look for. Now, I guess no harm, no foul in that as long as it goes both ways. Terrell Clark to bring it across for the Broncos. Trey Scott, 4-3, deep 3. over the back of the backboard, off the rim. That's a turnover.
It looks like Trey Scott's shot right now just not falling, but he will not hesitate to pull those. We know this.
Oh, take it.
AJ stops, pops from three, no. AJ Wilson with the rebound. Sean to Trey. Trey spins in the lane
Oh, that should be a jump
and
ball.
draws the foul.
That should be a jump ball. That should be a jump ball.
You can hear Newt Williams, head coach for the Broncos, looking for a jump
That's on the
ball.
floor, right? That should be a jump ball. Jump ball, baby. Jump ball.
Trey Scott to the line for the Bulldogs. 6:40 to go,
Straight jump ball,
49-26. And nothing but the bottom of the net for
That's a
Trey.
straight foul. That is straight foul. You can jump, but not that high. Hey, you can jump, but not that high.
Scott gets the second one.
I know you see through this thing.
Nearly stolen away from Valentino Jackson. Montroy Scott, Freelix for three. No, way short, gets his own rebound. Scott to Johnson. Johnson into the lane, blocked away, a very minimum, tipped away by Clark there. QB. QB into Clark, into the lane, under the basket. Kicks it out to Sean Scott. Sean Scott for three. No, that one rattles out. Rebounded by Clark.
Okay, it was tipped over by Trey.
Sean in and gets the bucket to roll down. Sean Scott.
He's going to go for 30 today, Jason. I'm going to call it now.
Freelix. Freelix to Richardson down in the corner. Richardson draws the foul.
Looks like it's on A.J. Wilson.
So AJ gets the foul. 5:49 to go. We're back to double the score, 53-26. Again, about 5:50 to go here in the first half as Montroy Scott checks out. EJ Haymore checks back in. Freelich gets it to Richardson. Thinks about it, loses it,
Travel.
and that's a travel by Alejandro Richardson.
Let's go, Trey. We got a 27-point game.
QB inbounds to Clark, and we come forward. 5:40 to go here in the first half. Clark to QB, thinks about it. Little running hook, no, gets his own rebound, and gets the bucket. Akeem QB has got 8. Johnson takes the bump. And the foul called there on Trey Scott. I don't know, personally, I kind of agree with Coach Wright. Trey beat him to the spot, but it's a foul nonetheless. Johnson, all the way into the lane, unguarded, gets the bucket. Trey takes it all by himself and returns the bucket. Johnson kicks it to Jackson. Jackson, Alejandro Richardson fakes the shot, gets to the free throw line, gets the bucket to go. Alejandro Richardson. Trey Scott. Trey Scott, deep three. No, way short. Looked like that one might have been tipped.
Well, if it ain't a basketball flying at her.
Alex Johnson makes Scott miss, gets to the free throw line, can't get the bucket to fall. Clark races behind the back to Sean, and Sean draws the foul. Fancy pass there from Terrell Clark
He's known for those.
as Sean will go to the line for 2. Had a chance to convert that and make it a 3-point play, but couldn't get the bucket to fall.
You know, right now it's a 27-point game. It's right now it's looking like a runaway.
57-30 is the score, 4.5 to go here in the second quarter, as Scott cannot convert the first free throw.
Did he make the first one?
No, he missed it. Sam Mitchell checks back in. And he's immediately eyeing Coach Williams again.
Yeah, you saw that too?
And he gets the second one.
I'm glad you saw that too, Jason.
Freelich to Richardson.
Get out your head, do your thing.
Haymore. Haymore. Looking at it. Looking, still making the dribble, gets it into Valentino Jackson, dishes back to Haymore. Haymore can't get the bucket to fall. Rebounded by QB. Tipped back, here's Mitchell to QB, into Clark all by himself, and Clark with the jam.
That was a baby T. That was no jam, that was T.
Richardson to bring it up. Into Jackson. Jackson can't get the bucket to fall. Rebounded by Clark. Clark.
Hey, why you walking?
Mitchell for three.
Why you walking?
Oh, rattles, and AJ went for the follow-up but couldn't get it. Then he looked for a foul. Alex Johnson, EJ Haymore from deep three. No. Rebounded by Richardson. Richardson puts it back up. Richardson with the bucket. Richardson very quietly has 6, and it's 60-32. 3:20 to go here in the first half. Clark for the Bulldogs. Clark. Long three ball. Got it! Terrell Clark with his first three ball of the game.
Well, it only takes one to start a streak.
Haymore can't get the bucket to go as it's long. Rebounded by Wilson. Wilson kicks it to Sean Scott. Sean Scott gets the three ball. And a timeout, Broncos. 2:51 to go, 66-32. I don't know how high the score is going to go, but I'm thinking the Bulldogs want to double them up.
Hey, it sure looks like it. It looks like they're trying to get some of that point differential back that we've been talking about all year. If you remember the Cedar Valley game, they won't talk about how much the score was between them and Cedar Valley, but they want to remind us that we lost.
Yeah, point differential is really not going to matter much in terms of first and second seeding. I didn't get a good chance to really look what it looks like between us and I believe the Lakers who sit in third, but it'll be nice to blow a team out.
They were only a game behind us.
Yeah, it'll be nice to blow a team out that we should, and I hate to say it, but we really should be blowing this team out like we are right now. But the first team to lock up the division was the aforementioned Cedar Valley Court Kings. They have locked up the number 1 seed here in the West, so now it's all about the rest of the seeding, as the top 4 teams will play at least one home game in the playoffs starting in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we want that home game, Jason. We want to welcome them to the Dog Pound.
Timeout's over. 2:51 to go here in the first half. 66-32 is the score, and the Broncos will inbound. I'm not even sure they remember where it's going to inbound, but it looks like it'll come right in front of us.
Oh, is there a towel over there?
Lost and found.
Looking for a little bit of, just to clean up a little moisture here on the floor. Inbounds here from Freelich, gets it to Johnson. Johnson to Haymore across the line. Johnson, Haymore. Long three ball from EJ Haymore. That one's long, tipped by Freelich, tipped again. This one comes down to Ernest Clayton. QB. Kicks it to Clark on the far side. Clark for three. Missed it, rebounded by Freelich. Freelich gives it to Gonigan. Josh Gonigan for the Broncos. Freelich for an open three. No, rattles out. And Mitchell can't get the rebound. This one does come down. Clark gets it up. Up the court. Haymore, Clayton. Here comes Johnson. Johnson all by himself. Blocked away by QB, but they're going to call a foul on that as Johnson made a miss. So Johnson to the line. Misses the first one. Montroy Scott checked back in as we are under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Johnson for the second free throw. Gets it to go. A.J. Johnson not filling it up like he normally does. He's got 9 points so far in the first half. Quiet first half for A.J. Johnson. Clark gets the bucket to roll down. And Clark is running away with the scoring lead. Gonigan. Montroy Scott. Johnson. Johnson steps back. No, can't get the three ball. Tipped away by Clayton to QB. QB. And gets the bucket to go. Akeem QB.
Don't talk about a beat about.
Scott, looks like that's Freelix on the far side. It is Freelix. Freelix kicks it out to Scott. Yes, sir.
No ball. They're taking away that basket.
No bucket. They're calling a foul over there. Looks like, I think they called it on Gonigan. Yeah, Gonigan's the one talking. So something happened over there that we couldn't see. Mitchell inbounds it to Clark. Minute and 10 to go here in the first half. Clark can't get the bucket to go as he takes some contact. Mitchell, no, can't get it over there. Here comes Johnson all by his lonesome.
Wow.
Freelix didn't take the shot, but gets the bucket to go.
Let's go.
Freelix has got 4. Clark, with 44 seconds to go, gets it across the line. 40 seconds now, QB. Mitchell, fall away 3, no, or fall away bucket, can't get it to go. Montroy Scott, 30 seconds. Freelix, Scott, 4-3, got the ball. Montroy Scott from deep, that's his second bucket of the game, both of them threes. No shot clock now as we come across the line with 12 seconds to go here in the first half, given back from Clark to QB. QB with 5. QB. 2, 1, falls over. No foul. There's the end of the first half. Not quite doubled up here, Jake. It is 70-38 in favor of the Bulldogs. Jake, one more word from you before we take a quick break and get our recap.
Well, honestly, what you're seeing is the Broncos, it seems like they're going up soft. If the Bulldogs want this game, they're going to try to come out here and take this game. If the Broncos want this to be an even game, they're going to have to step up their play.
And with that, we will be right back here from the Lexington Community Center. Again, 70-38 in favor of your Bulldogs. We'll be right back with the second half. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Reinders, Jake Weldy here from the Lexington Community Center. They call it the pit. The Broncos aren't really running this joint today. You see the halftime score behind us, 70-38. I just talked to Coach Wright in passing coming back. I told him to get it to 50. He says they plan on trying to get it to 60 plus. They want to make the Broncos leave their own gym before the final buzzer. Jake, what do you got?
What do I got? We've been talking about this playoffs coming around, right? It's eat, sleep, win, repeat. That's all they got to do. Next 3 games. And then you got 2 more games in the playoffs, 3 more games in the playoffs, then we got that championship. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. 1 game at a time, 1 half at a time. Just because we put up 70 in the first half doesn't mean the Broncos couldn't come out and do it in the second. We know they can get hot from 3.
We know the Broncos can score. It's a matter of will they? Again, 70-38 here. Leading scorers, we've actually got 4 players in double digits for the Bulldogs. Terrell Clark with 14, Sean Scott with 13, Akeem QB's got 10. I mean, it's up and down the leaderboard here, up and down the roster rather here for the Bulldogs as we get ready to go in the second half. We've seen in the past, I think it was against Iowa Elite, I believe, that the Bulldogs scored a lot in the first half and then ran out of gas in the second half. How do we keep that from happening?
Well, it's simple. What you're seeing right now is what I call the Boston Celtic effect. Kyrie Irving, when he's in the game, you see a lot of iso ball. When he's not in the game, you see a lot more of the team ball, team passing. That's how you keep this team going. You keep the team passing so you keep everybody fresh. No one person is stepping up the scoring. If we can keep that going all the way through the playoffs, we're going to be in good shape.
Speaking of the playoffs real quick, we got 2 games next week. A return game from the season opener, that was out in Green Bay, so we get the Bay Area Titans on Saturday, and then we get our return game against our second loss. That was TC Elite, that's next week Sunday. Both of those games are at home. Come out and pack the Eagan Community Center as you watch the Bulldogs lock down that second seed in the West. We got to get ready to get out of here. We're getting ready for the second half. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we out. Here we go, let's go.
All right, we are back here from the second half. Jason Reinders, Jake Weldy, the best team in the business. And here we go with the second half. The Bulldogs take it. Here comes Deshaun Springs. Mr. I can jump out the gym. Gives it to Kavarion Williams. Terrell Clark.
4 guards?
Backs it down. Terrell Clark gets it blocked away.
Do I really see 4 guards?
You really do see 4 guards.
Ice cream.
Freelix. Jackson, that's Valentino Jackson. Back out to Freelix, fakes the shot, takes the shot, steps inside. Freelix gets the first bucket of the second half.
It's so right playing some games here right now, putting out 4 guards when you're up by 30.
70-40, here we go. Trey Scott, wow, a deep 3 from Trey Scott.
Curry range.
And that puts him at 9. Jackson gets the pass, makes Trey Scott miss. Valentino Jackson gets his first bucket of the game. He's now got 3. He's got a free throw from early. Trey Scott behind the back on Jackson. That's a mismatch. Another 3 ball. Oh, that's short. Rebounded by Gonigan. Gonigan into Jackson. Jackson with another bucket. 73-44. Kavarion Williams, and the bigs are getting ready to check in for the Bulldogs.
Looks like
Clark,
3 of them. Looks like Barry, Wilson, and Jarvis.
Deshaun Springs.
Break him! Gunter Jarvis, right?
No, Alvin Gunter. And they're going to call a push there. Very nearly backcourt. They're saying that EJ pushed him.
If you paid attention to it, when he picked up the ball, he bounced it off his foot.
I missed that part. Either way, you got Barry in. Looks like only Barry. Oh, Barry and Alvin Gunter checked in. Clark, Deshaun Springs. Springs gets into the lane, kicks it out to Kavarion Williams. Gets around, kicks it down. And EJ Haymore picks up the foul.
Hey, how many fouls EJ got?
Ashley.
How many fouls EJ got?
Looks like Trey Scott getting ready to check back in. Gunter takes the inbounds pass. Gunter over to Kavarion. He missed that by a mile. Little bunny didn't even catch anything. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, and a bad pass. Bad pass from Gonigan to Haymore. Deshaun Springs gives it right back to Kavarion Williams. Kavarion Williams into the lane, nearly loses it. Kicks it out to Gunter. Gunter for 3, no.
Let's go.
Missed it, that was way long. Johnson. Johnson to Freelix, Johnson. Johnson crossover, loses it. Kavarion Williams picks it up. 4 on 2.
Barry.
And they call the carry. So it's a turnover as Freelix will inbound for the Broncos. Freelix kicks it to AJ. Wilson to Haymore. Into Jackson, back to Haymore. Freelix stops, pops from the line, no. And Gonigan gets the rebound and the bucket. He's got 6. 73-46. Clark Clark. Long three from Kavarion Williams. Yes, sir. Kavarion Williams with his first points of the game, and he's got 3. Frelix back to a 30-point game. Frelix around the pick. Uses another pick, guarded by Gunter now. Gunter turns, no. Frelix can't get it. Rebounded by Clark, falls to Williams. Kicks it up to Deshaun Springs. Over to Gunter, to Clark, no, can't get it. Rebounded by Williams. Williams, who has 1 shoe.
He can't do that. But he was out of bounds. Here's a rep. He was out of bounds and jumping in.
And Jake, what's the call there? Did they call a timeout? Is that what happened?
Timeout, Jason.
Okay. I was a little confused why there was a whistle. I'm pretty sure it's legal to play with 1 shoe if you can do it. Either way, we've got a timeout on the floor. 76-46 in favor of the Bulldogs. 8:33 to go here in the third quarter.
I mean, they're just going to step up, and we're going to see what they're going to do now. How long are those bigs for those Bulldogs to be sitting on that bench?
The timeout breaks.
Check Ashley.
And it'll be Bulldogs basketball right from the side, right to our broadcast left.
Ain't nobody owns us.
Clark.
Nobody pays us.
Clark.
Come on, Clark.
Clark. Still Clark turns,
Good D, baby.
gives it to Gunter in the lane, and Gunter gets the bucket to go. Gunter has got 9. Gonigan, guarded by Gunter. Gonigan. Spinorama, no. Rebound falls to Barry. Barry gets Jackson to back off, gives it to Williams. Kavarion Williams. Into Barry, and the layup for Antonio Barry. Barry has got 6. I believe that's Gonigan. Gonigan falls and then gets the bucket, maintaining his dribble. And they did call a foul there. 80-48, still a 32-point game. Gonigan gets the bucket to go. Clark all the way into the lane, and they're calling a travel. Deshaun Springs tried to go for the highlight follow-up, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Oh, he called travel? Wow, what are you doing?
A.J. Johnson. Johnson kicks it to Haymore, nearly stolen by Clark. Kicks it to Frelix. Johnson into Richardson. Richardson gets the bucket. Richardson with 8.
Hey, get him in the corner.
Deshaun Springs spins around, gets across the line. Springs kicks it out to Kavarion Williams for 3. Yes, sir.
We got Kavarion.
Kavarion Williams.
Come on, we
2
don't
buckets, 2 3 balls. 83-51, back to a 32-point game. Richardson. Gonigan looks at it from 3, decides to drive in. Spins, kicks it to Johnson just inside. Turns it, gives it back to Gonigan. Refusing to shoot almost, gives it to Johnson Richardson. And it's taken away by Kavarion Williams. Springs. Oh! A long alley-oop for Deshaun Springs.
It took a little longer than we thought.
85-51, rebound there goes to Clark. Clark, Gunter, and Gunter gets the 2. And Gunter joins the crew with more than 10. Richardson, all alone by his lonesome. He has 10 now. Clark, 87-53, halfway into the third quarter. Clark still Barry looks at it. You know he'll shoot if he gets a little opening. And the foul is called as Barry will go to the line. 34-point game, 87-53, 5:49 here in the third quarter. And you could see some of it's getting a little testy on the benches.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what you come to expect. When you know players and you know each other.
Barry gets the first free throw. He's got 7.
You feel me? Like, you say you want to play.
A.J. Wilson checks in, Kavarian Williams and Deshaun Springs out, as well as Akeem Cuby back in the game. So Clark, Cuby, Barry, A.J. Wilson, and Gunter in, and Barry gets the second free throw. Haymore turned over and a foul there, as that is Ellis Caples commits the foul on A.J. Wilson. It will be side out. Barry checks out.
Come on. You gotta shoot, bro.
88-53, 5:39 here in the third quarter to go. Is there such a thing as a running clock?
Sounds to be some dissension on this Broncos bench.
Let's go.
Rebound there by Caples, gives it to Gonigan. Step and a half, and he's good. Gonigan gets the bucket. He's got 11. Clark brings it up for the Broncos. Bulldogs.
A.J. Wilson back in the game.
Into A.J. Oh! Alley-oop jam for A.J. Wilson.
Just about time you say his name. It's about time. Ball goes down.
He's got 10. 90-55. Alex Johnson all by himself. And Alex crosses the 10-point mark. Clark, little runner. A.J. Wilson can't get the follow.
Go!
Broncos looking to push. E.J. Haymore from deep three. Way off, rebounded by Clark, and we're off and running the other way. Clark, I'm not quite sure what he saw there, but it didn't work out. And Gonigan puts it down. Gonigan quietly filling it up. And it's a 31-point game, 90-59, 4:20 to go here in the third quarter. Gunter, guarded by Gonigan. Gunter gets in, gets it tipped away, and it is Bronco basketball.
B. Greg.
Inbound here. We're going to skip the media timeout. It looks like maybe we'll do it on the next dead ball. Long 3 ball there. And they call a foul there, Jake? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I think so.
No, player can't say nothing. It's just in the yard. Hey, B, I want him. Troy.
So I'm not quite sure exactly what not quite sure what's going on here, but there needs to be a little disagreement. Either way, 90-59, 3:56 to go. Gonigan closely guarded by Wilson. 5-second call. That's the first time we've seen a 5-second call.
Smothering defense.
AJ gives it to Kavarian, and down the floor we come. Kavarian Williams for 3, no, way short, barely grazed the front of the rim. Caples gives it to Johnson. Kicks it to Scott. Scott kicks it to Johnson. Gonigan looking for somebody, can't get it to Villalez. And they're going to call a travel. And media, and here we go, finally with the media timeout. 3:29 to go, still the score of 90-59. And it's, it's starting to look like a runaway.
Looking? I mean, what else can you say, Jason? It's a 31-point game.
It's pretty much where we were at the beginning of the second half here. Nothing's really changed. The score has gotten a little higher, but that's about it. So we will be right back here in just a minute when the timeout ends. Back here after the media timeout. Looks like Kavarian Williams will inbound right in front of us, Jake. Again, 90-59. Jason Reinders, Jake Weldy here on the call from the Lexington Community Center, St. Paul, Minnesota.
That's not allowed.
You gotta watch him.
A little bit of hijinks right in front of us. As Kavarian inbounds it to Terrell Clark. Sean Scott looks at it.
Cheating, you ain't trying.
Back in, no. Missed the pass there. Gonigan comes up with it. Caples, late trailing. Caples all the way to the bucket. Caples with his first points of the game. 90-61, 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Sean Scott lost it, re-got it, and couldn't get the bucket to go. Montroy Scott. 3 ball, no. Tipped up, and Akeem Cubey finally comes away with it. Kavarian Williams gives it to Barry. Barry from the corner. Clark down under. Clark gets the bucket to go. Montroy Scott takes it inbound, 92-61.
You know that ain't a good sign, Jason, when the coach says a player shows up when he wants.
That's probably not good. A.J. Johnson for 3, no. Rebounded by Villalez. Villalez, no. Rebounded by Sean Scott. Tipped away. Kavarian comes down with it, and he's tripped up. Villalez gets the foul. And we have 2:08 to go here in the third quarter. 93-61. A.J. Wilson checking back in for the Bulldogs. Trying to wipe up a little bit of moisture. One thing about this gym, Jake, is that it is very, very hot in here.
Thank you. Come on, man. He was hot. He was doing it.
QB to inbound right past the halfway line here. QB gets the inbound to Clark, and we're back off as we come down to 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Clark, yes sir, Terrell Clark.
Bully ball!
Very quickly filling up this scoreboard. Gonigan takes it from Haymore. Gonigan loses the ball, and Sean Scott comes away with it. Gives it to Kavarian. Kavarian races, gives it to Clark. Clark back up, bucket and 1. So Clark.
What you doing, my son?
Clark has 20 right now on the game, and it's 97-61.
Hey, as long as you ain't doing that, it made my day.
You mean to tell me that's real?
What?
They call it no foul, but then let nigga home behind.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I was like, where the hell the ball come from? I thought y'all did it. I can't hear. Oh, the matter of fact, hey, Mike, where's my ball, man?
Clark finally steps up to the line, and he gets the bucket to go.
Yo, somebody took my ball.
Scott to Valentino Jackson for 3, no. Rebounded by Clark.
Going inside.
Clark tries to go up, and he gets fouled. Clark will go back to the line.
I thought we was going inside, though.
Jackson gets that foul.
That's your equalizer right there, huh? That big motherfucker, number 22.
They're about to fire up AJ. That could be trouble.
So on the court for your Bulldogs is QB, Wilson, Clark at the line, Steve McGee, and Sean Scott. Clark to the line, 98-61, a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Clark gets the free throw to go. He will shoot one more.
Montroy, sir.
Alejandro Richardson to check in for Montroy Scott.
You know, I don't care what the score is. I put it back in. Now one, baby. Uh-oh. Here he go. Uh-oh. Here he go.
Scott misses the second one. I'm sorry, not Scott, that's Clark. That's my mistake, wrong player. So what you're missing is when Coach Williams posted about the game midweek, he mentioned that Alejandro Richardson, who goes up and under, can't get the bucket, gets the rebound. Caples up and gets the foul. Caples will go to the line. Anyway, he mentioned Alejandro Richardson will be guarding Sean Scott, and there was a little bit of exchange in the comments. This, of course, is on Facebook, about who's who, who's better, and you're seeing it transpire a little bit here as we have a minute 18 to go in the third quarter, 99-61 in favor of the Bulldogs.
Let's be honest. Does it really matter who's better or what team is better? Right now, the scoreboard says what team is better.
Caples gets the bucket from the line. Sean Scott to bring it up. And he's calling for ISO ball. Scott on Richardson, here it is. Oh, Scott crosses him over, gets the bucket. It's up and it's good, Sean Scott. Richardson.
Get it back.
Richardson back off the cut. Valentino Jackson.
Go.
Jackson's got 7. Scott, again, looking for ISO ball. 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 101-66 is the score. Scott for 3, and he gets fouled. And now you have Scott yelling, he cannot guard me, he cannot guard me. And we've seen evidence of that.
Don't worry about it. He ain't doing nothing, he's playing.
Scott gets the first one. 102-66.
I don't know if you saw that, but Michael Wright of the Bulldogs just brought a towel over and told Duke Williams to throw it in.
Well, there we go. That's what Steph was talking about. He wants to try and make him throw the towel in. So Scott goes 2 for 3 from the line, hitting the bookends. And it's 103-66. 30 seconds to go. Richardson, Freelix gets around Wilson, swatted at it, missed it. Here comes McGee. QB. Not quite sure what he did there, but he missed the layup.
It looked like he came up lame. He's still in that tunnel.
Richardson, no. Scott. The foul is called there as Scott
Why is not getting the ball to Tino, man? He's right there.
walks it off. Scott actually goes to the corner.
Oh my God. Tino's the hot man. Let him eat. Damn, Tino right there, guys.
Gotta love this, Jason.
Let him
This is
eat.
when you know that games are getting a little chippy. This is fun.
103-66, 8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. The Bulldogs lead, and they've been leading literally since the jump.
I mean, I don't think that they've even looked back. I think that they were up, 6-0 before the Broncos even scored the first 2?
Well, at one point it was 3-2, but that's the closest it's been since there was 11 and a half minutes to go. 3 ball for McGee is no good at the buzzer. So at the end of 3, it is your Broncos, or the Broncos 66, your Bulldogs 103. Jake and I will be right back after a quick break.
Let's go.
And here we go with the 4th quarter from the Lexington Community Center. Bulldogs 103, Broncos 66. Valentino Jackson. 3 ball there from the the Broncos. Rebounded by Clayton. Here comes Sean Scott, Akeem QB. QB.
Took Alejandro off of Sean Scott.
QB. QB now with Richardson guarding him. And a travel there by QB, and it is Broncos basketball. Inbound to Freelix. Richardson thinks about it, slips. Jackson kicks it to Haymore. Haymore for 3. Off the top of the backboard, no. Rebounded by Scott. Wilson, crossover, and draws the foul. Wilson's looking for something to do here.
Hey, Rep.
Alejandro Richardson talking to one of the refs.
Hey, Rep,
Inbound to Sean Scott.
Little something here and there is cool, but keep going like that.
Sean Scott, deep 3. No. Rebounded by Caples. Caples to bring it up. Caples all the way to the bucket. No, can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Valentino Jackson, and Jackson gets the bucket. Akeem QB to bring it up. 103-68 now. 10.5 to go in regulation. QB for 3. No, long. All the way up to Caples. Caples gets the bucket. QB misses the easy bucket. Freelix kicks it at his feet, picks it up. From Brumby, a 3 ball, no. And Scott goes up for the rebound and gets tied up with Caples and can't get it. So the foul goes there on Sean Scott. Looks like we got Deshaun Springs, Alvin Gunter, and Trey Scott checking back in. Oh, Trey Scott's gonna sit down, so you got Gunter and Springs checking in for Sean. And no, that's it.
Hey, get that lucky charm. Get that lucky charm out your pocket. Eyes talk, baby. Eyes talk. Watch me do it. Watch me do it. Watch me do it. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Freelix takes the inbound, guarded by McGee. Caples to Jackson. Jackson at the line, can't get it. Wilson with the rebound, and it is Broncos. Are they gonna give it back to the Broncos? No, they're giving it to the Bulldogs. Still Bulldog basketball.
It's like humid in here. Yeah, it need if the air was on, it would be good. That's all your fault. Y'all don't need no air.
No, it is Broncos basketball.
My school was under construction, the gym.
Richardson. Richardson gets it taken away.
That's what you call hustle D.
Ernest Clayton with the steal, can't quite gather it up, so it's still Broncos basketball. Richardson inbounds to Freelix.
You're double teamed. Wide open.
Jackson to Brumby. Brumby to Freelix. Freelix in the lane, kicks it to Richardson for 3. Got it, Alejandro Richardson for 3.
Is that his first one, Jason?
That's his first 3-ball. Gunter. Gunter kicks it out to Clayton. To McGee. Steve McGee. Ooh, with the breaking of the ankles, and it's short. Way short. And he was too hyped up off of that move. Richardson into Jackson. Jackson gets the layup, and it's good. Timeout, Broncos, and it's a 28-point game. It's the closest it's been in a little while.
I mean, 28 points is still a big hill to climb. Granted, there is 8:55 left, so there's plenty of time left on the clock for this run. Really, the Bulldogs have to get back to what they were doing in the first half and put buckets and baskets.
Yeah, it's definitely a lower scoring pace. They haven't scored yet in the fourth quarter, as it's still 103 is what they had at the end of 3. So a 3-minute plus scoring drought.
So we're on a 9-0 run. I mean, frankly, you know, right now, we know basketball games are runs. Right now, the Bulldogs have to answer right now. They need to stop. They need to get on transition.
Clayton to take the inbounds for the Bulldogs. Gives it to Deshaun Springs. Trey Scott behind the back. Gives it to Gunter. Back out to Trey. Long 3, fall away 3. No, can't get it. That's going to go off the front of the rim, and it is going to go out. The drought continues. Brumby gives it back to Freelix. Freelix guarded by Alvin Gunter. Loose ball foul as A.J. Wilson commits the foul on Alejandro Richardson. Richardson on the inbounds. Caples. Ellis Caples gets it stolen away and can't get the bucket to fall. Wanted the and one. Ellis Caples will go to the line for 2.
They're calling the foul to Ernest Clayton.
So Clayton commits the foul. Caples to the line for 2. 103-75. The Bulldogs still lead this game. And he gets the bucket to go.
We have a 10-0 run right now.
And make that 11-0 as Caples goes 2 for 2 from the line. Gunter.
Too high.
Pass from Gunter to Clayton is a little too high, and the run will continue. Or in other words, the drought continues. Freelix into Caples. Caples up. No, can't get the bucket to fall. Rebounds it. Freelix gets the 3-ball. Brandon Freelix. And it's a 23-point game.
Well, it was just 37. I mean,
Spring still can't get the bucket. There's a lid on the bucket for the Broncos. Clayton commits another foul. Caples goes back to the line.
this is sloppy play right now from the Broncos, or from the Bulldogs, excuse me. And we just can't have this. The Broncos really have to pick this up.
It's good play so far from the Bulldogs, or from the Broncos, as they've gone almost 4.5 minutes without allowing the Bulldogs to score. The Bulldogs controlled all 3 quarters. Caples misses the free throw. Jake, what's the free throws look like for each team?
Well, right now, you know, the Broncos have taken 17, the Bulldogs have taken 16. The Bulldogs have hit 11, the Broncos have hit 9 right now.
So it's pretty close. It's pretty close on the free throws. If it was a closer game, you'd say that it definitely matters more, but as it sits right now, a 23-point game, the free throws don't matter as much. But if this scoring drought continues, this game will get much closer. And Caples misses them both, rebounded by Richardson. Richardson gets the bucket.
Get your man.
Full court press. Clark guarded by Frelix.
Hey, that's 8 seconds.
Taken away by Richardson. And thrown away.
Brandon wide open. Let's go.
Richardson throws the ball away in a pass intended for Brumby. Mitchell, that one's short. Might have been tipped away. Richardson.
Stop walking.
Caples, Frelix. 7 minutes to go here in regulation. Richardson for 3, got it!
Get your D up.
And it's under 20 points. We haven't seen this since the middle of the second quarter.
I mean, that's what happens when you get a 19-0 run, though.
Finally, the run is over as Terrell Clark gets the first bucket for the Bulldogs in the fourth quarter.
There's a drought ender. Halfway through this quarter, though.
Long pass to Richardson. Richardson, no. Rebounded, falls to Clark. Clark races up. Clark can't get the bucket to go. Rebounded by Gunter. Falls to Trey Scott. Into Gunter. Takes the short. No, can't get the bank shot to fall. That one is taken away. Blocked away that time by Caples. Richardson checks out, and looks like Gonigan's checking back in, and here comes Sean Scott for Wilson. AJ Johnson checks back in for the Broncos for Rondell Brumby. 105-85, just about halfway into the fourth quarter, 6:07 to go. And it's suddenly gone from almost 40 to 20 points.
Well, yeah, but I mean, right now, you know, they're sitting there. I still question starting out with 4 guards. We need to get that intensity back that this Bulldogs team is known for. Right now, the Bulldogs are playing lackluster on both sides.
It seems like they've definitely let off the gas, and it's not something you want to do. Wilson kicks it way out to Sean Scott across his back court.
He traveled, he carried.
Sean Scott.
You got still called a game, man.
Big crossover. Finally kicks it up, and it's up and good. Sean Scott. AJ Johnson, 107-85. Johnson kicks it out to Gonigan, and he loses it. Scott to Clark on the inbounds. Clark races across the line into the bucket. Big block by Brandon Frelix. And it remains Bulldog basketball. 5.5 to go here in the game.
Well, you notice that once the starters came back in, now they've gone on a little bit of a 2-0 run.
It's a long 2-0
4-0 run.
It's a long 4-0 run, but you're right. In about a minute, the last minute and a half, it's been 4-0 for the Bulldogs.
I think the only starter not on the court right now, I don't remember who the starting 5 was, but Mitchell is probably the only one there that came off the bench.
Mitchell's the only bench player, correct. It's QB. The only starter that's not in the game is Akeem QB. AJ Wilson to take the inbound for the Bulldogs, guarded by Valentino Jackson on the far end line. That's Sean Scott over in the far corner. Bullies his way in. AJ Wilson picks up the rebound and draws the foul.
Josh, are you okay? I'm going to say there's only one man under there trying to get a rebound. Anyone else standing around? Gotta keep
Valentino
hustling, man.
Jackson now has 4.
That's what you're here for.
A.J. Wilson again inbound, gives it again to Sean Scott. Sean Scott in the near corner. Scott, fall away 3. No, can't get it to go. Frelix with the rebound, and we're off and running. And Frelix gets the bucket and 1.
Keep playing. Don't stop.
107-87.
Oh, media break. Media break. Hey, ref. Media break.
So we're at the media timeout, 5:12 to go here in regulation. All of a sudden, we've got a little bit of a game on our hands, Jake, 107-87.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot closer here in the last couple of minutes. Bulldogs need to turn this thing back around. They need to get this hype back going. Start talking some more.
Yeah, you noticed early that when they were talking that they were scoring. But we will be right back after this timeout. All right, back here, we'll run you all the way down to double, triple zeros. No time on the clock right now. We got 5:12 to go, and it is 107-87 in favor of your Eagan Bulldogs. Jason Reinders, Jake Weldy on the call here from the Lexington Community Center, home of the Broncos. Frelix to the line to finish the and 1. And Frelix converts the 3-point play.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm gonna talk to you. Yeah, that's not good.
Clark takes the inbound. And Clark draws the foul.
That's good D, baby. He made and 1.
Sean Scott to take the inbound for the Bulldogs. He gives it back to Terrell Clark. Clark with Frelix guarding him. Clark loses the ball. Valentino Jackson, Gonigan. Frelix can't get it to Gonigan.
Hey, B, just take it.
Mitchell
Just take it.
to Trey Scott, back to Mitchell, back to Trey Scott. Trey Scott.
Trevor.
And the charging is called.
Hey, B, take it.
4:41 to go, 107-88.
Not if you just take it. Do your thing, baby.
Why are they shooting?
I know, B, like, man, get out of here. I know, he should have went. It was a perfect pass. Johnson's running like 70.
Trying to squeak, I'll call it squeak up some moisture here.
You sick of losing? God, it's humid in here.
Yeah. Again, 107-88 is the score. 4:40 to go here in regulation. Mitchell on Johnson. Johnson gets around using the pick. Another pick from Valentino. Valentino in the lane. Tipped away. And they're calling a jump ball.
Jump ball, baby.
They're not going to call the jump ball.
He got a jump ball.
So they overturned it. No jump ball there, and they're just going to call a foul on Valentino.
You played for San Francisco 49. You don't shoot on the rebound. You don't shoot on the rebound. You don't.
He grabbed the rebound. He took the ball from him.
He said loose. Yes, it was a rebound.
I mean,
So after all of that little bit of confusion here, it is Sean Scott at the line.
Who 12 points? Who, him? Oh, man.
And he gets the bucket. Sean Scott, good from the line.
Now he's looking at it. I ain't going to hear that end of that forever.
Scott.
That's all right. I can't believe we let you look good.
And no, tipped away. Can't quite come up with it. It is Bronco basketball. 108-88, back to a 20-point
give me
game.
20.
Tipped away. And Trey Scott gets the bucket, but we saw Mitchell take a bump right in front of us, and he is down. He's hurt a little bit. Looks like something with his shoulder. QB will check in. No, Clayton checks in.
Looks like Barry checked in too.
Antonio Berry back in the game as well.
Wilson checked out.
110-88. 4 minutes to go now in regulation. Freelix. Yes, Brandon Freelix.
All right, let's go.
4 minutes to go now. Clark. Clark to Barry. Barry loses it.
Run! Why you walking?
Johnson spins behind the back, gets it to Jackson. Nearly blocked by Clayton, but Jackson gets the bucket to go.
Get your man.
110-92, 3.5 to go here in regulation.
120 ain't looking so bad.
No, it definitely slowed down. 130 was looking like easy, but that is, well, it's not impossible, very
Hey,
unlikely.
look at the elbow.
Sean Scott. Another one for Sean Scott. In down to Freelix. 3:20 to go. Johnson. AJ from three. Got it!
Hey, whose bad is this?
That's his second three ball of the game. 112-95. 3 minutes to go. Clark kicks it to Barry. Barry steps in, gets the bucket. Antonio Barry. Surprisingly, he doesn't have a three ball yet today. 114-95. Johnson into Caples. It would have been an and one had he been able to convert the bucket, but he didn't get it. That one will go on Trey Scott. 2:45 to go here. 114-95 is the score. The Bulldogs lead. Caples at the line. It's up. Caples is automatic from the line, or I should say all but automatic. He's missed a couple.
Why you was playing like I'm so tired of this dude, man.
Caples can't get that one to go. Rebound comes to Clayton.
I think you jinxed him, Jason.
Gives it to Clark. Clark all the way down into the line. Big jam! Terrell Clark.
Easy money.
116-96. Johnson gets the bucket to go. 116-98, 2.5 to go. Clark, Trey Scott, into his brother Sean. Sean, no, can't get the bucket to go, but draws the foul. And it is Sean Scott now to the line. Sean has 24 right now to match his jersey number. Make that 25. he makes this, he's tied the scoring lead, and he does. Sean Scott has 26, the same as Terrell Clark. Freelix to run it up. Freelix into the lane. Dishes it to Gone again, can't get it to go. Another one can't get it to go. Freelix steps back into Gone again.
Hey, Red, illegal defense on 24.
Clayton racing to get it. And
That's another. Hey, Brian, the back don't feel good. I'd rather you not have 5 turnovers, man.
I think the ref kind of lost sight of who had the ball, but either way, it is. Now Clayton looks like he came up a little lame. He took a hard run into that wall trying to save the ball. So QB checks in for Clayton. And we're gonna have another conference by the refs. QB inbounds to Clark. Under 2 minutes to go. Minute 45, Clark slips. It falls to QB. Clark back up, Barry.
CJ Parker in the audience.
CJ Parker is in the building, obviously not suited up. It is 118 to 98.
Kind of wonder, does that mean he's coming back?
What was the call?
More mopping and wiping of the floor, as it is extremely hot in here.
It's got to be because of Bulldogs.
I like the theory, but it's always very hot in this gym. That's just the way it is. And now they're using a hoodie. So 1:43 to go in the game. 118 to 98 is the score. The Bulldogs lead.
Squeaky, squeaky.
Lots of squeaks. I think we are good to go.
They have 15 points so far to play.
And the inbound tried to go to Barry. Barry instead draws the foul on. I believe the foul went on Caples.
You're winning the second.
Yeah.
The first half.
Barry gets the free throw.
That's what they did. 105. That's all he do is 105.
And Barry gets both free throws. 120 to 98. Caples with the pick. Johnson.
Here we go.
Fast dribble behind the back.
Here we go.
Into Jackson. Jackson blocked away by Sean Scott. Sean Scott to run. Gives it to Barry. Barry takes the three. Got it! Antonio Barry. 123 to 98.
By 120, he's coming true.
Antonio Barry. Again from the corner. Got it again! 126 to 98. Under a minute to go now. Looks like my 130 might come up. Freelix for three. Gets his own three ball. Clark, 30 seconds to go. Tone for three. No, way long. Way long, he wanted it. Tone's out there laughing, saying the ball is wet. 126-101 is the score as we go under 30 seconds to go. Three ball, got it! Brandon Freelix from three. 126-104. Clark, got to get it across the line. 20 seconds to go. Clark, no, can't get the bucket to go. Freelix, gonna run it across, 15 seconds to go. 10. 3 ball from Freelix, no. Sean Scott, 7 seconds. Tone, looking for 3 again. Got it! And that is the game. Final score, 129-104. And the Bulldogs will move to 10-4, going to the final home games next weekend, Saturday at the Eagan Community Center against the Bay Area Titans, and then Sunday, a rematch against TC Elite. We'll be right back with the final game recap here. Stay tuned for more. Jason and Jake, we'll be right back.
So Jacob Weldy back here at the pit, joined by Antonio Berry. Antonio Berry, thank you so much.
No problem. Good to be here.
So today you had 21 points and 3 late three-pointers to bury this. How big is this victory for you guys today?
It's real big, man. Like, we've been kind of like fighting back and forth with a couple losses and a couple lost players, but it was good to come together as a team again and get another win.
So with just 2 more games left here in the regular season, then we hit playoff time. Those wins, are they must-haves?
Yes, they are. We look at every win as a must-have. We want to let people know that we're coming. We had, like I said, we had a couple hiccups, but we're ready to get back to business and get the championship.
You know, we all know what you can do coming off the bench. Would you rather be starting, or is coming off the bench good for you?
I like to come off the bench, man, because I like to finish. I want to be the finisher. You know what I mean? I want to bring that extra something when the starters got to sit down, and we still have people that come off the bench and that can still score and get the job done. So I like to come off the bench just to let people know that we still have extra stuff on the bench.
One last question. These next 2 games, what do the Bulldogs have to do to come away with those ultimate victories?
We just got to stay together, man. Like, stay together through, everything, man. Like, hard times, we're going to have some rough games, we're going to have some tough games, but if we stay together, man, and stay focused, you can see what we're capable of doing, and that's all we need to do.
I want to thank you for your time, Antonio. I know you guys got a post game to go get to. Congratulations on this victory.
Thank you, sir.
Jason Reinders back here at the Lexington Community Center, joined by the Bulldogs operational manager, Nicole Williams. Thank you for joining me. Big win today as we go into the final weekend of the season, but of course this being a crosstown rivalry, a lot of the players, as you see, notice each other. What happened? What did you see from your bench in the fourth quarter? How did they turn it from basically a 40-point game into a 20-point game?
I think we just got too lazy with it. We weren't hustling down the floor, weren't playing defense, let them get too many easy shots, and we just weren't contesting the ball.
A lot of up and down. You had 3 players getting in the 20s, both Terrell, Clark, and Sean Scott. They both had 26, but Antonio Berry coming off the bench late, like we all know he likes to do. He's been cold the last few weeks, but he finally got him 3 for 4 in the last on 3-pointers in the final minute. What's that like, having a sharpshooter like that coming off the bench week in and week out, knowing what he can do?
Yeah, well, you said it exactly right. That's what Tone does, and that's what we expect from Tone, whether he's getting 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 10 minutes. So we expect that from him, and he delivers for us.
So from your point of view, last question here, you got 2 games next week. You get a rematch from the season opener against Bay Area on Saturday, and then you get TC Elite on Sunday.
Yep.
That'll be a rematch from one of the only losses on the team. How big are those wins as you're still attempting to lock down the number 2 seed and get a couple of home games in the next couple of weeks for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they're really big. We need to go into the playoffs on a win streak. We don't want to go in on a loss, and we just need to go out and handle business at home.
Knowing that Cedar Valley is locked in the number 1 seed, does that make it even more important to lock down the 2 seed?
Absolutely. I mean, it's always important. And we want to go into the playoffs on a winning streak. We want to go in ready and get a championship.
CJ's out. Next man up seems to be the way to go. Congratulations on a big win. Go get with the team. We'll see you next week. Thank you. All right, Jason Reinders, Jake Weldy back here post-game, 129-104 final score here from the Lexington Community Center. They call it the Jimmy, they call it the pit. I guess you could say we run this here tonight. Jake, what was your big turning point in the game?
Basically, when the starters came back in, you saw the momentum change. If he kept a few starters in throughout the game, the momentum stayed on the side of the Bulldogs. When he tried going to that 4 guards and playing just a straight bench, the momentum shifted back to the Broncos because they had their starters in. Now, the Broncos weren't playing well in that first half. We both can see that. It also didn't seem like they were playing with any hustle. They actually outscored the Bulldogs in the second half by about 7.
It got a little nervous as we saw the lead go from about 40. They got it under 20, and then you've got the sharpshooter Antonio Berry come in and hit 3 big threes in the final minute. Yes, the game was put away, but those big threes, they got to mean something. We've seen Berry be relatively cold in the last month.
Absolutely. I think those 3 threes might actually be a turning point. Barry said about it. They got to stay together going into these next couple games. Hopefully we'll get C.J. Parker back right here, coming back. It'd be a big addition because a deep team can always become deeper. We always know that. You can never be too deep off your bench.
Bulldogs,
your bench is very.
Baby, Bulldogs.
This is Bulldog Nation. We do stand up. We do get loud. I mean, we gotta get this. These next 2 games are huge, man.
Speaking of the next 2 games, Saturday night, I should say afternoon, 3:30, get the Barrier Titans. That's a rematch from the home opener, the season opener. That was out in Green Bay. That was a 20-point win. And then Sunday, the final game of the regular season, a rematch from our second loss. That was a 120-118 loss at TC Elite. This time we get them in Eagan. Number 2 seed still not fully locked up, but we do have a 1-game lead. Must-win games, both of them?
Absolutely. How can you say they're not? I mean, if you have a 1-game lead, you have to win at least 1 to lock it up. I think they took both from the Lakers so far this season, so if they win 1, they should lock it up.
Al, we could always hope for a little bit of help, but you never want to back into the playoffs. Jake and I will be here for the full time. Next 2 games, again, next weekend, Eagan Community Center, and then the playoffs after that. We've got a couple of home games coming up. Come and pack it out. Again, final score here coming to you live from St. Paul, Minnesota at the Lexington Community Center. 129 for your Bulldogs, 104 for the Broncos. We will see you guys next weekend.
Bye-bye.